ABA. When you hear that name, you likely hear the memories of playing with your friends and having an awesome time on this game. Except you don't and replace all of that with emotional whiplash, because that's what this game causes. Known for its awesome balance and its loving community, ABA has taken the hearts of many people, including me. And with that comes lots of complaining, and I mean lots of it. Most of what you'll see in the community is people just complaining about abilities that are just way too overpowered, which you can't blame them because, yeah, the game does have a lot of overpowered stuff. But what you'd never see is people talking about the worst moves in the game. If you go on YouTube and you search up moves on ABA, you're likely going to see what is the best move on ABA and stuff. So, I humbly invite you to my video. What is the worst move in ABA? So, to figure this out, I collected a bunch of moves that I thought belonged to be on this list of the worst moves in ABA because I don't know the exact worst one, but we're gonna figure that out in this video. Our first contender belongs to my beloved character, Broly. The move is his counter, which, if you'll notice, is relatively good at first glance. When you see it, it lands and it does a good chunk of damage. The problem with it is it has the worst hitbox in the game, which is especially bad because this counter has two functions. Either it does that small little beatdown, or it gives you a slight damage buff. Now you're thinking, a damage buff? That's gotta be great. Wrong. The damage buff is very barely noticeable. Not only that, but it only stays out for 4 seconds tops. And Broly's combo, to do all your health, takes way longer than 4 seconds. So, his move is just the worst. Not only that, but the counter itself doesn't stay out for long. So all you're left with is if you slightly mistime it, is in lag. You're just gonna get comboed because you tried to use one of your moves smartly. Now, an honorable mention, I won't say it's a bad move, but it's certainly not the best, is Broly's Rush. Best piece of advice, don't use it as a rush because it'll likely bug in front of your opponent. You want to use it as more of a grab, so use it in an M1 combo or something, because it barely hits and it's very inconsistent to combo off of. Now, the next move is Aokiji's Shatter. It's his first move, and honestly his worst. You're never going to use it. It doesn't guard break, barely has a hitbox, you can't just throw it out, and it's only useful if you're using it as a combo ender. Only does 15 damage too. It's really just not worth it. I don't think you should be using this move, ever. Now here's a quick disclaimer, I don't think any of the characters I put on this list are bad except for a small few. Most of them are actually pretty good, if not really good in meta. They just have some of the worst moves in the game. Now with that out of the way, let's get on to the next character. Asuna. She has a good kit. It's good for support and, team battles. But Switch on its own, as a move, is just not viable. No one's actually going to get hit by this move. It doesn't even combo extend, and it doesn't combo end. It's only useful for combo starts and trying to catch someone off guard. Now, if your opponent's really dumb and bad at blocking, then yeah, maybe it's an alright move. But other than that, it's just really bad. And our next move, Giorno's Frog. Oh, how I love this move. No, seriously, I love it. It's a fun move to me. I actually enjoy using it, and it's good in the aspect of damage trade-offs, but it really just is a worse version of Aizen's Kyoka Suigetsu. If you're gonna use Giorno, don't use him for the frog. Like, typically when people choose Aizen, they choose him for his box or Kyoka Suigetsu. That's normal, because not only does Kyoka Suigetsu revert the damage, it also starts combos most of the time. Giorno's Frog does not, therefore it's just not really viable. But I can't really call it a bad move, so I'll just consider this an honorable mention. And the next move is Goku Black's Black Power Ball. The move sends out a giant black power ball, as the name suggests, that moves relatively fast if you're far away. It wouldn't be so bad if it actually was useful, though, because if you're close, it's incredibly slow. Slow enough to that you can actually move out of the way before it even gets to you. and it's not even useful because it's his only viable guard break that I'd consider slightly good. His Kamehameha is a guard break, but you can't even start combos with that because it has too much of a wind-up. If Goku Black had a different move that actually combo started or guard broke, if he just had a different guard break, I wouldn't mind Black Power Ball being how is it. But with it being so slow, I mean, it does decent damage, but it's just, you're never gonna hit it half the time as a guard break. So, if you're playing Goku Black and fighting someone who loves to hold block, it's basically over for you. Next, we have Zoro's finishing Slay, which you'd think, oh, an execute in base, that's balanced, right? No. It's balanced as in it sucks, because it just, PTS Zoro's hit alone is not that good. But you're never going to get someone low enough to use it as an execute, and not only that, but if you land it, you're going to get comboed off of the move itself. You, the one who landed your move, can still get comboed even if it hits. What sense does that make? Next one, we have Toshiro's Ice Whip, which really, it's not that bad of a move, but it's just still so inconsistent that it'll still do the loop around when it should hit, and it doesn't really combo extend, so I can't call it a bad move, but if it just needs to be fixed. If they could please fix it so it doesn't do that spin around bad tracking, then it'd be great. Next, we have Achilles with his move that I'm not even going to try to pronounce because I would butcher it. And honestly, it's already butchered alone because it's just not a good move. It's a copy and paste of Iskandar's, I think, his first move. And except Iskandar's is actually good because it's a guard break and it down slams. It doesn't really start combos, but Achilles, you have to be really good if you want to win with him. And that move, being bad, does not help. It's genuinely just not that good. Because it knocks back so you can't even combo extend off of your guard break. Really, it's just play Lancer. Don't play Achilles. Unless you're trying to troll around with his mode, in which case, go ahead. Knock yourself out. Now, there is a way to combo extend with it off using Lunge, but if you have to waste your only good guard break to, you know, land your first guard break, it's just not going to be good. It's not worth it. Okay, next we have Sinon and her lovely move known as Hecate. It's just, it's contending. It's top 3 worst moves in the game. It will never hit, even if they're right in front of you, especially if they're moving like a bunny hopper. And it's just really, really bad. I don't know what they were thinking when making this, but I mean, I get it does 30 damage if it does hit, but if you can round up a bunch of clips of you actually hitting the move and put it into a video without losing your mind, then, you know what, I'll change my mind. But until then, it is at least top 3 worst moves in the game. That's it. That's all the moves I have to cover. I had a few more that I was gonna add, but they're honestly just, like, not really that bad. I'd consider them honorable mentions, but it's usually just you being bad, or me being bad most of the time. Example is Lucci's Rinkaku. It has a horrible hitbox and is very inconsistent, but it's not bad because it does a good amount of damage and it hits more likely than it doesn't. So, you'll be okay. So this brings the question, what is the worst move in the game? I just gave you a bunch of moves that were just really bad. What's the worst? And honestly, through very, very careful consideration, I gotta say that the reward for the worst move in the game goes to the one, the only, fucking Super Dummy. Genuinely. One of the worst characters. No, I take that back. The worst character in the game. And it's not because he has a bad kit overall. It's because he has a bad kit overall. Allow me to explain for a second. He has a heal, an iframe, a block, and he has a move that confuses your enemies. It's like, what more could you need? And he still has a damaging move. Well, combine all of that together and you get the worst character in the game. Because he has one attacking move, because the other moves are alright. Healing Dummy is just, you're not even going to want to use it anyway. But Down Slam Dummy, does no damage at all, doesn't combo extend, and yeah, it has hyper armor, but guess what? It doesn't do damage while you're using the hyper armor. It what is that? What's the point of it having hyper armor aside from you can get out of maybe 1 or 2 combos with it? It's just so bad. I've tried everything. You cannot combo extend with down slam dummy. So you're left with like maybe 5 damage every 5 minutes in a match. So if you do win with Super Dummy, it's gonna be a really long and painful match for you because it's gonna be nothing but stress. Healing Dummy, you're never even gonna want to use it, but at least it's, useful in between stocks. I gotta give the worst move in the game to Down Slam Dummy, and it's not even close. I mean, seriously, I could ramble for hours about how bad Super Dummy is. It's like when Infernasu got him and he tried him for the first time, he was like, "Oh wow, this character is overpowered, the best in the game." No, just because it sounds good on paper, because he has a semi-good kit when you look at it at first glance, does not mean it's good. And this is a perfect example of never judge a book by its cover, because I have never played a more painful character than Super Dummy. And honestly, anyone who puts themselves through hell to get the gold skin, I can't even respect because they don't deserve respect. They're freaking insane to play him for that long. Seriously. So yeah, that's it. That's the worst move in the game. Down slam dummy. I I don't know what else to say. Bye. Love y'all.